Hello and welcome to the European Circle report. The Turkish public is growing ever more concerned that its nation could be dragged into an armed conflict with Syria. Following the Syrian attack on the border town Akçakale last Wednesday, an assault in which 5 people were killed and 16 others wounded, Turkish warplanes carried out attacks on Syrian military positions. As late as Thursday, the Turkish military continued its airstrikes on Syrian territory. The Turkish town of Akçakale is fast becoming a focal point for the conflict because the Syrian armed forces and rebel militias are fighting for control of the nearby border crossing Tel Abyad. It was from Tel Abyad that Syrian shells were fired into Turkey on Wednesday, regarding which neither the Syrian forces nor the rebel militias have declared accountability. In Berlin, the German Chancellor Angela Merkel condemned the Syrian assault in the strongest terms. Whilst Germany remains allied with Turkey, Merkel still urged both sides to remain calm. The German Foreign Minister Guido Westerwelle also implored restraint in his press statement, remarking that with the worsening situation, it is clear a proper resolution must be found. In addition, Westerwelle pleaded for the Assad regime to immediately respect the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Turkey and its other neighbours. In Brussels, the EU's Foreign Minister Catherine Ashton also condemned the Syrian attack on Turkey and warned Syria against the consequences of violating Turkish sovereignty. Ashton described the event as a tragic spillover of the Syrian conflict into neighbouring countries. Reports from both Turkish intelligence and the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights mentioned that the Turkish attacks had only been retaliatory. Meanwhile, over 100,000 refugees have already made their way into Turkey. It also appears that pockets of the Free Syrian Army, the FSA, are operating from Turkish territory, and both the Syrian army deserters and rebels are encouraged to attend army training camps and are given free weapons once across the Turkish border. For almost a year now, the Turkish government has waited on Assad's downfall, yet the government has been accused of not wanting to improve Syria's appalling humanitarian situation, but rather of wishing to expand its influence in the Middle East. Last Tuesday, a panel of experts working under the direction of Finnish central bank governor and former EU Commissioner Erkki Liikanen proposed its recommendation for the EU's future banking structure. The report shows that banks that maintain steep levels of high-risk investment should be legally bound, and these should be separated from branches of low-risk retail banking and lending businesses. This would prevent another large-scale financial crisis in which taxpayers' money would be non-refundable, as separate departments of the banking system would be held individually accountable. The review of the European banking sector illustrates that no single business model has proven to be particularly good or bad in the crisis. However, the audit did reveal that businesses involved in excessive risk-taking are generally not well insured. Overall, they felt it was necessary to request banking groups to legally separate their normal activities from their particularly risky financial dealings. Separation, they insisted, not only makes these institutions more transparent, but it simplifies their supervision and ultimately the rescue of a bank and its management. When handing over the report to the EU's Internal Market Commissioner Michel Barnier, Liikanen emphasised that upon the implementation of the group's proposal, a safer, stronger and more effective banking system will be put into place. Barnier himself urged the banks to more readily act in the interests of their clients. The next step will be for the EU's Internal Market Commissioner to consider how the Commission will analyse the impact of these recommendations, which regard growth as well as the security and integrity of the financial services. He will examine these issues in light of the impending financial market reforms. The trade industry protested against the plans in advance. The president of the Federal Association of Public Banking, Christian Brand, spoke out against a two-tier banking system. However, Liikanen acknowledged that the recommendation to split the institute is based solely on a majority vote. Moreover, he claimed that such a plan is certainly not a short-term project. That was the European Circle report for this week. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.